Welcome to the world headquarters of the Mass Preacher, broadcasting from somewhere partially underground on this continent. I entitled my teaching, 5, Not 10, Sports Moments. This isn't a documentary, but this is just highlighting certain events that I remember through the years that were really intriguing sports events. And not in particular order of importance, but just 5 of them. One of them is I have a program that I inherited when my father passed away from UCLA, and it's February 1967. UCLA is 16-0. And what's fascinating at this point is 8 of those wins, UCLA scored over 100 points. 3 in the 90s, 4 in the 80s, and 1 in the 70s of these 16 games. And one of those games, 122 they scored, 119, 116, 104, 5, 107, 100, 120, 107 again. Here's the point. The point is today we have the 35-second shot clock in college. They didn't have that back then, that Wooden wanted. They didn't have the three-pointer, which he would have loved to have. They didn't have the change of possession. All things to speed up the game. And that was back in a day where you could stand, once you crossed the 10-second line, stand there and hold the ball. And, if you had a smartphone, like some of these goofy commercials, people are doing bizarre things where they're on their smartphone, you could do that back then. And, just stand there and do that. But as I look at that and think about it, it's amazing to me. It's fantastic that back in that day where the stall was so prevalent, they scored so many points. I mean, that's just amazing to me. Okay, another story. Interesting story, more of the testimony. I think it was 1988, the World Series, Dodgers over the A's. And it was kind of an upset. But the play is the home run. And in this home run, Kirk Gibson hits. What is amazing to me is listening to his story. He was on a church, Crystal Cathedral, who would have in celebrities telling famous stories in their life. And Kirk Gibson, in this particular game, was a critical game, and he was injured. And he wasn't out on the field. He was in the locker room. And he was in his street clothes, and he tells about, he just pictured himself hitting a winning home run to win the game. And so the game moved along, and Tommy Lasorda, I heard his version of the story, going into the locker room and just seeing Kurt saying something to him coming out. At some point, whatever inning it was late in the game, he had his uniform on. And Tommy said, "Can you play?" And he said, "Yes." So he didn't want to bring him out too soon, and at some point he brought him out, put him on the field. Now the fans are just going crazy. But he had just pictured himself hitting a home run for a very long period of time. He was focused intently on that. He came out there, he hit a home run, and the place just went wild, and the Dodgers won the World Series. Great moment in sports history. Another one for me was the Arizona Cardinals when they lost in the Super Bowl. What was amazing to me, it was a really up and down year. A lot of criticism because they won their division. One announcer was quoted as saying the worst team in sports history or something, in NFL history to make the playoffs. But they went 3-1. the first 3 games, they scored over 30 points. In the Super Bowl, they scored 23, lost 27-23. What was amazing to me was that one more touchdown, and I don't ever remember in history of the Super Bowl era of any teams winning 4 in a row and scoring 30 points in all of those games. Now they fired the defensive coordinator, which is kind of bizarre of a team making the Super Bowl, but because if you go through some of the regular season games where, you know, one team's rolled up 56 points, a number of them got 40 points in some of those losses that year, so it was a really up and down season, but they got hot at the right time. But it was an amazing year, and even the Super Bowl, 10-7, the Steelers intercept it and run it back for a TD. 17-7, then to start the second half, the Steelers are driving, and I just thought for sure the Steelers were going to smoke them, man, just blow them out of the stadium. But they held them to a field goal, and then the Cardinals, just like the up and down year, came back and took the lead. It was amazing on that drive, a couple of 15-yard penalties against the Cardinals for the Steelers. I mean, but it was such an amazing game, and if it wasn't for that miracle catch by a Steelers player close to the end of the game, the Cards would have pulled that out. Amazing moment. I remember being in Southern California at an event with relatives, all of us with Arizona ties, and it was just a fun time to watch the Super Bowl and together with people you like. And so the second story, I think I'm going to skip, and the last one, because the clock's running out, was the Russians lost to the United States in 1980 hockey. It was just a phenomenal time with the politics that were going on. And if you see the movie Miracle by Walt Disney, if you look at the interviews with Herb Brooks, the actual game is on YouTube. Just what Herb Brooks did with those college kids to be probably, to that point in time, one of the best, probably the best team in the history of hockey. And I don't know very much about hockey, but it was just all the politics and all the stuff going on, and then having the Olympics in America, and then starting with an exhibition against the Russians and getting driven off the ice and smoked by the Russians, you know, and everything along the way that Herb Brooks did, and being fought left and right by people. He didn't sit down and say, okay guys, what do you want to do? What should we do? He had a plan in his mind, and the goal was to beat the Russians, and he did in hockey. And study that, watch the movies on that. What a great treat. Kind of a payback for what the Russians did, upsetting the Americans in '72. So just a great moment in history. And so there's a lot of light things in life, and sometimes you have to ease up off the gas pedal of life and enjoy life. And that's why I love sports. And these sports stories, you know, may not change your life, but just to encourage you to find something to decompress, to relax, to just chill out in life. I mean, if you're driving down the street and gripping hold of the steering wheel, and you know you swerve to avert a car, and you're doing that, holding onto that steering wheel even when you leave your car, that's not good. So chill out in life and enjoy sports. Try to get a hobby or sports and enjoy yourself. And God bless you, signing off from somewhere partially underground. The Mass Preacher bids you good night.